I really love these kind of problem statements. Not only do they help you to practice, but at the same time, that problem description talks about a new concept or some terminology that you may not be aware about. Such is a problem called camel case on HackerRank. The problem itself is pretty straightforward. You are given a certain string and you have to find out the number of words in it. But for some reason, the string is called a camel case string. This sounds like a naming convention, but what is so special about it? If you want a quick solution and just want to see the code, refer to the link in the description below to my GitHub profile. However, if you want to work with me and find out more about these naming conventions and other representations of it, stick with me a little longer. Hello friends, welcome back to Study Algorithms, a place where I make programming fun and easy to learn. First, I will describe you the problem statement and show you some sample test cases. Next, we will try to understand the problem and try to come up with an efficient solution. Going forward, we will do a dry run of the code so that you understand the code and what is happening behind the scenes. Ultimately, I would like to talk about these certain naming conventions and what are the different types. We will go over them one by one and just try to analyze what is the advantage of one over the other. So, without further ado, let's get started. As I said in the beginning, the problem over here is pretty straightforward. You are given a string and you have to find out the number of words in it. Now, the speciality of this string is that it is represented in a form of camel case. What happens in a camel case is the first word would start with a small letter, and then as you move ahead, the second word would start with a capital letter, and then again the third word would start with a capital letter. So, following this property, you need to find out the number of words that you are present in a string. So, for example, let us take up our test case number 1. You start off with the first word. It starts with a small letter and you find one word, right? Next, you see a capital letter, right? This is the starting of a second word. So you again start and you go all the way until you see a capital letter again. Once again, you see a capital letter. You will start once again and therefore you found a total of 3 words, right? So in a test case number 1, the answer would be 3. Similarly, let us look at our test case number 2. You start off with the small letter J and you go all the way until you find a capital letter A, right? That means you have encountered one word. You start from A and you start moving until you find a capital letter that is J again. So you have 2 words now. Let us keep doing it. We get Jill, then we get W, then we get went, then we get U, then up, then we get T, then the, then H, and then ultimately hill. So in this case, you found a total of 7 words. Now, if you have understood the problem statement, feel free to try it out on your own and then come back again to understand what are naming conventions and what are its different types. However, if you want to know more about them now, let us go ahead. Okay, so let us try to understand the problem statement. First of all, how do you separate words in common English? You insert spaces between each word, right? But computer science is all about saving as much space as you can. So it is not a good idea to have spaces in between. So everyone went ahead and okay, removed the spaces. But now what happened is all these words got mixed up. There is no way that you can distinguish, okay, this is where a word ends and this is where a new word begins. So to overcome this problem, what we did is we introduced a capital letter wherever a new word is beginning. So ultimately, our string ended up looking like this. So this forms a camel case. That is why a naming convention like camel case came into existence. Let us take back our original example. So in this example, we see that hey, the first letter is small and then as you start to move ahead, you see a capital A. This means that this is the beginning of a new word, right? Similarly, when you start moving ahead, you again see a capital J. This means that a new word is starting again. You again move ahead and you see a capital W. So a new word starts again. Moving forward one by one, you see a capital U, a capital T, and a capital H. So to solve this problem, the easiest way would be you start scanning the string from the beginning. And as you're scanning, as soon as you encounter a capital letter, just increment the counter by +1. Move ahead, you again see a capital letter and increment the counter by +1. Ultimately, when you go all the way up to the end, that is equal to the number of words, right? And since the first word started with a small letter, what you do is you just add 1 to the final result and you will get your answer. So this is how you can solve the problem just by one scan of the string. Don't try to overcomplicate the problem. Don't try to think that, okay, I need to find words in a dictionary and see, hey, this is a word, and then count them out. You just need to scan for all the capital letters, and that will tell you how many number of words are present in the string. Now, let us quickly do a dry run of the code. On the left side of your screen, you have the actual code to implement this solution. And on the right, let us take up a sample string that is in a camel case format. So in the beginning, I initialize my counter, number of words is 0, right? Next, I will run a for loop that will iterate over each of the character in the string. In my next step, I get my character C that points to each individual character. In the next step, what I will do is I will check if the character I got is a capital letter or a small letter. If this is a capital letter, then what does it mean? It means that I found a new word, right? So I will just increment the counter of number of words by 1, right? Once this loop ends, I have iterated through all of my characters in the string, right? I have completed one entire scan. So what are we remaining with? We still need to include the first word that started with the small letter, right? And hence, just as a final step, what I do is I increment the counter of number of words by 1. And ultimately, I return the number of words. So this will give you your answer. The time complexity of this solution is order of n. That is because we are scanning the entire string only once, and the space complexity of this solution is order of 1. That is because we are not consuming any extra space or creating any new data structures. So now you know how a camel case works. Let us quickly look at some other popular naming conventions. So, like I discussed a couple of minutes back, when you are removing the spaces, you need to still find a way so that you can differentiate between the words, right? Otherwise, how will you read them? So, we came up with certain naming conventions. You already know about the camel case, right? Similarly, you can try to separate the words using different manners as well. One of those ways is a kebab case or a dashed case. So in this case, what you do is you separate out all of these words using a small dash in between. So as you can see, you see a dash over here, over here, over here, over here, and ultimately over here. You can see the difference between these two naming conventions, right? So what happens if you replace this dash with an underscore? Then it becomes a snake case. So if you look at this example, you can see that all of these words are separated by an underscore. This kind of naming convention is usually popular amongst Python. You will see that a lot of Python programmers will use this naming conventions. The camel case naming convention is popular among Java programmers. You will often find the dash naming conventions in Bash. Then again, you have some naming conventions which are not very popular. For example, a mixed case naming convention. If you look at the characters in this example, you see that some of them are capital, some of them are small, and there is no specific rule to follow. So this kind of naming convention is usually not preferred. And ultimately, you have a naming convention called as the Pascal case. Theoretically, the camel case and the Pascal case are very much similar. All the words are separated by a capital letter. However, in Pascal case, the first letter is also a capital letter. And in camel case, the first letter is a small letter. So that is the only difference. Now, there is no hard and fast rule about which naming convention is good and which naming convention should you ideally use. It is just a matter of practice and just a matter about what your fellow programmers are doing. That helps you to maintain some consistency, and it can also help you to recognize some visual differences between codes of two different languages. For example, a Java code would have a camel case and a Python code would usually have a snake case. I hope I was able to simplify the problem and its solution for you. As per my final thoughts, I just want to tell you that whenever you're solving such problems, don't just emphasize on the input and output. Try to read the problem statement a couple of times. It could be possible that you're learning some new terms from it. These terms can help you to effectively communicate your ideas amongst your peer programmers. What other naming conventions have you heard about, and which ones do you generally use? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I would love to discuss all of them with you. You would be also glad to know that a text-based explanation to this content is available on the website studyalgorithms.com, a pretty handy website to help you out with your programming needs. I'm including a link in the description below in case you want to read more. As a reminder, if you found this video helpful, please do consider subscribing to my channel and share this video with your friends. This motivates me to make more and more such videos where I can simplify programming for you. Also, let me know what problem do you want me to solve next, or rather, what do you want to learn next. Until then, see ya.